In the last video, we talked about problem and our customer segments. And in this video, we'll talk about unique value proposition, your solution, as well as the channels that you can use to get to your customers. So we'll start with unique value proposition, which is the third thing you fill in your lean model canvas. So what is a unique value proposition? A unique value proposition is a single, clear, compelling message that states why you're different and why your product or your solution is worth it. It's really important to keep in mind that this is about the benefit or the value that you can provide to your customer and how you're solving that problem. So we'll use the example of Airbnb that we previously started with. And so with Airbnb, the unique value proposition was that travelers could get authentic experience of a particular place by living with someone who's a local there, and then for the homeowners, they had that opportunity for extra monetization for like vacant areas as part of their house. So as you can see, there are two separate customer segments, and for them there's a very clear, simple value proposition, which is to sort of basically just say that that's how this product will add value into their life. So we'll type that in here. Once you have figured out what your unique value proposition is, then you start to think about your solution. The way to think about this here is because you've listed multiple problems, you can also think about multiple solutions that are solving those particular problems. Now, you start with different solutions and then you figure out what is a best solution by testing and iterating on that. And so in the example of Airbnb, their solution was an online service that travelers can use as a way to rent a particular place in someone else's home. Now, this was something that was completely novel and unique. A lot of people said that this would never happen. There would be a lot of different issues, but the team really believed in it, and they tested that with both travelers as well as homeowners, and sort of got their buy-in to be able to make sure that this is something that works. And because it provided value to both parties, it is something that we know is a multi-billion-dollar startup today. So we'll add that here as a part of our canvas. And this is an activity that I'll recommend all of you do, which is as you sort of think about these pieces, is to add them to your canvas. In Airbnb's case, the solution was an online platform where homeowners can list their extra space and travelers can book it. So it was a pretty straightforward solution, but it was something that was novel and did not exist before. And so when you think about it, a lot of people were not really sure whether this was something that will work. They reached out to a lot of different investors, but weren't really successful. But the reason why it worked was because they believed in the solution, and they actually knew that it will create value for both customer segments, both for travelers as well as homeowners who had that extra space in their home. So we've already looked at our unique value proposition and our solution. So the next step, and very important one, is channels. How do we get access to our customers, and how do we tell them about the way in which we are solving their problem? Now, for Airbnb, that was using referrals and word of mouth. and giving people an incentive, a financial incentive to do that. They're also using online advertising. They were using a recommendation system, which was all really helping them to reach out to more and more customers. Now, this is something that you have to think about when you're starting your startup, which is what are the different channels that you will use as a way to get to your customer. And these channels will vary depending on who your customer is and depending on that particular problem that they're facing, right? So for example, if your customer is someone who is a big business, the way that you reach out to them will be different versus a consumer product that you're building. And one of the really good books on this is called Traction by Gabriel Weinberg. You also see a link to that at the end of this video. So you're able to actually go through that book and look at different channels that you can think about for your own startup.